Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity Character Showcase. And today is a very, very special episode because we are going to not only be playing as a character near and dear to my heart, but we're going to be using my new favorite weapon in this game, and that is the Master Cycle, carrying on the tradition of Breath of the Wild and Mario Kart 8 of coming back as a DLC content, and it is no slouch here, especially in this DLC where you constantly find yourself surrounded by enemies, and this does a really, really great job of not just stunning single enemies, but whole groups as well. The nice thing about the Master Cycle Zero is that if you use attack speed seals in conjunction with the overdrive mechanic that it has built in, you're going to be firing off stun lock combos left and right, especially with the Combo 5. The Combo 5 is the most notable combo that this has because it's a large area of effect that can even hit some enemies at a fairly modest range, but because of how reliably you can fire it off, it's not that difficult to just constantly keep each individual target unlocked. And if you find yourself surrounded, it's a great way to just stop them in their tracks, then use overdrive to quickly get out of there, reassess the situation before driving back in. It's a really, really good weapon. Now, I know that this DLC also introduced some additional battle arts with the different kinds of Master Cycles that are available. I actually haven't had much time to rely on them. I was mostly just focused on the base kit, so I haven't really been able to see if there are any particular ways in which the Master Cycle Hunter or Master Cycle Sentinel shine. Although I do kind of like the Master Cycle Sentinel's sort of design, but I might dive into that into a later video. We don't know. But for the most part, though, you will want to just dump in as much attack speed as possible. It benefits really greatly from that in combination with the overdrive, where you're just constantly bringing out those weak point gauges, wearing it down, and making sure that you always come out on top in every exchange with your enemies. For the most part, most enemies that can't recover in time are just utterly helpless against the Master Cycle, and that's exactly the way that I like it. The only enemies that are a little bit more difficult or unpredictable to do this against tend to be the Hinoxes and the Guardians, simply because they retaliate a little bit faster, but people like the Lynels, every single variety of Lynel, as well as uh, the Ganon Blight enemies and all the humanoids, they're just completely helpless against the speed of this weapon. But the Hinoxes and Guardians do have a tendency to kind of just like attack or prepare attacks immediately, and depending on what the attack is, it may not be fast enough. But whenever you encounter those enemies, the moment you create the weak point gauge, just slap on a stasis while the weak point gauge is out, and then just finish the job with a Combo 6. Combo 6 is a really, really great weapon too because it lets you have full invincibility and also works as sort of a panic button if you find yourself really overwhelmed by enemies. And when that happens, again, like I mentioned earlier, stun everyone, stop everyone in their tracks, and then use overdrive or just dash away, really, to get out of there, reassess the situation, and see what works. The other good thing about the Master Cycle Zero is that it's all about generating that momentum. And what better way to generate momentum than by building up this special? Building up special is very easy, as you will see in today's video. For the most part, most of our combos get the job done, but the Cryonis ability that this Master Cycle has is one of the best ways to build up meter super easily. It's not that difficult to build up 2.5 as long as you have some good pack density for your enemies. Okay, so here's how this video is going to go. We are going to play the final battle. I actually have not played this map. I recently finished the laboratory for this DLC and to unlock this one, so we're going to see what happens here. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up getting like a Siege of Fort Hateno kind of deal here. I hope not, because I know that'll be kind of overwhelming, but let's see how that goes. Before I continue, do I have everyone I need? Yeah. You know what? Let's go special attack charge rate in case we need it. We probably don't because it already builds up really reliably, but this means we can just go for broke for the most part, so let's just enjoy that, shall we? Okay, so here's the thing I want to point about the overdrive in this game, is that, yeah, when it gets full, what's going to happen with that is that you will not be able to use it for a certain amount of time if it overheats. The thing is, though, is that overheating isn't as big of a deal as you would think. reason why I say that is because if you're doing the loop-to-loops with the combo 5, you can actually repeatedly press the button, the overdrive button, to still gain largely the same effect, but then you'll also constantly lower the amount of cooldown that it has on it, so that's really, really useful too. So here's a Hinox. Since it's an elemental Hinox, we don't have to worry about it like prematurely escaping us. We don't have to worry about it prematurely escaping us because we can just get a full stun as it is. Let's do it again. So usually whenever I do the loop-to-loop, I repeatedly tap. And then when the loop-to-loop is about to finish, I hold the overdrive again. And then continue on the attacks. So that way I very rarely ever go past the halfway of the maximum for this thing. So, like, overheating is never a problem as long as you know what you're doing. But even if you do, though, here's the thing. Like, this thing I've mentioned before builds up special super fast, and because it levels up the special super fast, super fast, it's actually not that difficult to just activate the special, and that resets the cooldown entirely because she's fueling up. So even if you were to make that mistake, because of how reliably she builds her special meter, you can easily just correct that mistake. So yeah, don't worry about that too much. And get some extra damage. We're just gonna go for broke, because like I know that on these challenges they always constantly throw these elementals at us. And I think it's gonna take like 3 weak point breaks altogether. Might as well also just do another combo 5. Like, for the most part, you are going to be doing mostly combo 5s because of how fast it is. It's crazy how much of a difference the overdrive makes. The only time you'll ever want to hold the pedal, the only time you'll ever want to hold the overdrive button is during the beginning of your combos. The moment the combo finishes, you can let go or starts, or when the bulk of the combo, the final hits of the combo, you could just tap it repeatedly, and that should do the same effect. Here we go, gonna build some free special just like that with the Cryonis. And now we have some bad guys that we gotta take care of. Oh wow, and we got a whole crew of them, so this will be great. I'm gonna try to line them all up, hit them all with a stasis if I can. Okay, not quite. The Fire Moblin's kind of far away. Oh yeah, also the reason why I also encourage tapping the overdrive. The reason why I encourage tapping the overdrive during the loop-to-loop as well is that you generate the shockwave when you buy the enhanced ability. When you buy that shockwave, you're just constantly applying it during the combo, and you're also still getting that speed bonus if you're tapping it fast enough. So it is quite useful to do that. It's win-win because you're also you're not building up too much meter as well. Or sorry, you're not overheating yourself too quickly. And yeah, this is just free meter. I definitely didn't even need to use that food buff. Okay, so I see. We'll just quickly take care of this guy. We'll see what's happening at those glowy parts on the map. I wouldn't be surprised if this was the kind of mission where you need to constantly switch between characters. We'll see how this goes. And let's go all out with these magic, because they're always going to be giving me these magic raw charges. Okay, I can see that the doorway is... I think it's blocked? Or are those two gatekeepers? Let's find out. Like, I don't want to tarry here for too long. No, just do a regular special for this. Because I see that the HP of that Hylian captain is going down. This is what I'm talking about, that stun lock combo. The only problem, though, about this is that as cool as the combo 6 looks in this game, for this particular weapon, it really does screw up your camera. It really screws up your camera, especially when you're in, like, close quarters. There's so much close quarters in this game. Okay, good, it did open up. Perfect. Let's take a ride. I like this weapon so much. Like, it's gonna take something special to top this weapon, to be honest. This is gonna be another case where we might be able to get multiple guys. Oh no! Oh no, I wasn't... Okay, we'll do it again. I wasn't sure if I had the stasis, but I literally just burnt it to get the Cryonis. Let's do a combo 6. And this is going to hit... I think I broke all of the gauges? Okay, well, yeah, I got all of... Oh, wait, no, there's someone... Oh, there we go. I have to get the Meteor Wizrobe. What? That was bad! Wrong attack! So he used that invincibility on the Meteor Wizrobe. Okay, perfect. Let's just use the electricity. And she burns through that weak point gauge so quickly. I'm playing on very hard right now. As far as I'm aware, there isn't that much of a difference between very hard and apocalyptic, except for the amounts of damage that your enemies do. Oh, I mistimed it. Okay, perfect. We'll make our way back. Thankfully, we are on a very fast vehicle for this, so we can quickly make our way back to the main base. I'm pretty sure like they encourage the use of constantly switching between the enemies, but we don't need to do that for the purposes of today's showcase. It's all about Zelda. It'll only ever be all about Zelda. There we go. Again, just build up along the way. We have to remember that, unlike last time when we didn't have a stasis ready. Silver Moblin. I don't think there's anyone beside him, right? So yeah, this is going to be free for us. Again, constantly tapping the overdrive while doing the loop-to-loop. You get all those extra hits in from the initial shockwave. There's another enemy heading our way. Let's stun lock this guy. Look at that stun lock. Constantly loop-to-looping on the guy's face. Alright. And we're going to take the long way around. The funny thing about this weapon, too, is that I noticed that most of the most challenging segments of this game, in the base game, rather, were due to the fact that, yeah, we were surrounded by Lynels. Particularly, like, taming the Savage Lynel. I've always had trouble with that one. But it's cake with this. Because, again, you're creating that giant explosion. A giant explosion will interrupt the Lynels, even the ones you're not looking at. As long as they're in the general vicinity of each other, you should be able to do what's uninterrupted. But, yeah, like, for the most part, though, I found that almost impossible. I think you really had to, like, invest in food buffs to quickly build up your meter. Okay, here comes the Electric Guardian. Captain the Southern Outpost. Sure, I'm here now. It's like an Omnislash. Oh, look at her. She's so ready. She's so ready to run over a man's head with a bike. There we go. Here's the stun combo. Electric Moblins. Any of the Moblins. As long as you can reliably get the combo down, you can just keep them on lock. Like so. Oh my goodness, I love this weapon so much. This is like my new go-to, like I said at the beginning of the video. It's what I use primarily for like farming. And also there is the survival of the fittest, which is like a timed match. I think that might be the new best way to farm up your weapons to get the upgrades to reach the level 50 maximum. So that is also my go-to. Switching to easy, as far as I'm aware, easy mode doesn't downgrade the weapons that you can get rewarded with, so that is a great way to farm it, particularly with this weapon because of just how reliably it breaks the weak points. Not to mention that they constantly throw elemental at you, so that's always good. Into a combo 3, wear them down like that. Now there was also the combo 4 where she like does like a she creates like a holographic road in midair. That's pretty good for AoE purposes. It's not a bad move at all, but I find that Cryonis tends to be the better way. It's a lot faster, and to be honest, you don't really spend too much time farming with this anyway, because there's so much incidental damage. Or, yeah, so much incidental AoE damage. Oh boy, they came with 2. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. Because we have 2 Lynels. So this is where the attack speed's really going to come in handy. The attack speed will come really in handy, assuming the Malice Lynel doesn't spot us. But even if he does, though, look how much stun we're doing. Because this Malice Lionel doesn't have any notable ranged attacks, and even if he does, we should be doing our... Oh, there's the notable range attack. We should be partway through breaking the weak point gauge as it is. See, look at that. Lock him down. Even if he's surrounded by two Malice Lionels. Zelda was born to be wild. Look at this. And with any other character, this would have been a challenge. Because the thing is, if he kept on using that fireball at us, our option would have been just to use a special, keep him stunned. We don't engage, we don't necessarily have to go ahead and break the weak point gauge, but because of the stun afforded to us by that special, we can continue to focus our efforts on one Lionel at a time, making it less of a threat. But if you're the Master Cycle Zero, threats are few and far between. Look at this stun combo. It's glorious. It's like bullying almost. The same thing happens with the Blight Ganons too. Run him over. It's so amazing. I think the actions speak much louder than any explanation that I can give. This is a prime weapon, and one I highly recommend everyone to try out with. It's so fun. Like I said, and I've demonstrated, is that because of the way that this DLC is, constantly throwing different threats at you, the fact that you could reliably take them down in a timely fashion is matched by very few characters in the roster I found, and this is definitely a standout. It's definitely one of the better weapons in the entire game, in my opinion, and like I said, it's gonna take something really, really special to top this, and it'll be crazy. It's gonna be really crazy to see what they do in the future. But yeah, guys, thank you very, very much for watching today's demonstration of the Master Cycle. It's not the Master Cycle Zero. I think it's just Master Cycle in Zelda's case, but I prefer to call it the Master Cycle Zero. Just sounds cool that way. But yeah, thank you guys for watching today's video, and I will see you guys next time as we continue to go through the madness that is Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity DLC. I'll see you guys next time.